Hey guys, welcome to another Texas Bolt Action Battle Report. I'm sorry that it's been so long. As many of you fellow hobbyists know, sometimes life just kind of gets in the way, but I'm happy to be joined tonight by Luther and Patrick, a couple of newer members. Well, not really new anymore. In fact, they've been playing more than I have, so they're pretty much old regulars by now. But we're going to do a little 2-on-1 action tonight with the Commandos and the 2nd Armored Division from Patrick, and the Waffen-SS joined by the Panzer Grenadiers from Luther. Do you have both, a little bit of both in the?
They're all Panzer Grenadiers.
Oh, they're all just Panzer Grenadiers. Okay. So it's a little bit from the Panzer Grenadiers. So what we thought might be fun is to do a modified hold until relieved scenario. The Commandos are going to be dug into this town. They're going to be holding this objective that the Germans are going to be trying to fight them off of. And the Commandos are going to be hoping that they're just waiting on the Americans to show up just any second. So the Americans will be coming on this table edge over here to try and relieve the Commandos. So it'll be an interesting fight for sure. So I'll go ahead and start with what I brought to the table. I'm rolling with the Royal Marines. I've got my command squad at 750 points, so I was only able to take 4 people in the command squad. But I have Lord Mountbatten here with his cane, and no Bill Millen today, no bagpipes, but he does have a French operative here in his squad that's kind of helping him. I guess traverse the terrain and whatnot. They're going to be joined in their HQ by a forward observer, or the free artillery observer, and then we've also got a Piat team here. The 2 primary squads are 2 6-man. They've been whittled down to 6 men each of the veteran Royal Marine squads. One of them has 3 submachine guns, the other one has predominantly rifles. We've also got a veteran Vickers medium machine gun, and then we have a regular Bren group here that's just down to 1 Bren to lay down fire support. So pretty ragtag bunch, but they do have the rapid fire rule. Or no, you know what? I think I went with the Vengeance national trait. So I've never tried that out, so I'm just going to try it out just for fun this time. So we've got Vengeance. So they're going to be attacked by Luther's Germans. Luther, you want to tell me what you have here? I see lots of squads of men here.
Right, so our first 2 rows here are squads of regular Heer Grenadiers. We've got 1 LMG and 2 Panzerfaust and 1 Panzerfaust in the other. Okay. Then they've got, one's got an SMG, one's got an additional assault rifle. The 2 in the back here are veteran Grenadiers, so they have 2 LMGs each, and then one has 2 extra assault rifles, one has 1 extra SMG.
Okay, and then it looks like you've got a medium machine gun here. Mm-hmm. They're going to be supported by this beautifully painted Panzer IV, as well as a Puma. And then it looks like we've also got a...
First Lieutenant.
Okay, is that a veteran First Lieutenant?
Veteran First Lieutenant.
Okay, veteran First Lieutenant, and a...
Veteran Sniper team.
Looks like a sniper team. So they're going to be coming on, they'll be setting up anywhere within 18 inches of an enemy unit to try and surround the Commandos, but they better be careful because the Americans are expected to arrive at any moment. And let's see, Patrick, you want to go through what we have here with these guys?
Sure, got a veteran infantry squad with 2 BARs.
Nice.
Rifles, SMG, and then 2 regular infantry squads. We got a veteran sniper team, veteran bazooka team, regular 2nd lieutenant, and a veteran 105mm Sherman.
Love the 105 Sherman with the machine gunner on the back there. So yeah, so we're going to go ahead and do deployment, and then we'll be back to let you know how that went. So stay tuned.
Yes.
Right. All right, folks. So we are back after the deployment. So the Brits have deployed one infantry squad and one other unit. Everybody else will be in the first wave. They've got their regulars that are hanging out in this courtyard with the Bren, hoping to sort of cover the crossroads. There's also a Vickers over here covering the crossroads as well, waiting in ambush. Well, not with the order ambush, but just, you know, they're just waiting there. The Germans have pretty much come on in a line from this edge of the table. We've got one veteran grenadier squad over here in the woods, cautiously approaching across this field. The Panzer IV is moving up the road with a squad of regular grenadiers behind it. There is an MG-42 that has already deployed behind this building, I suppose, to cover this field and make sure nobody tries to get around on that flank. Got some inflating fire going on there. Meanwhile, over here, the Germans have fully infested these ruins. We've got a veteran grenadier squad hanging out here, as well as a sniper here in the little parapet. The Puma has moved up here, the Recce Puma, and the officer is staying close by. And then we also have another squad of regular grenadiers there as well. So the Americans should be showing up just any moment. The Brits have been whittled down pretty hard. They're holding off the Germans. They've got some defenses already set up here. So they're just these are kind of the scout elements awaiting the German attack before they sound the alarm and get the other Brits up here to the front to help ward them off. And I'm sure that they're very nervously looking over here to the west, hoping that the Americans should be showing up any minute now. So we're going to go ahead and play turn one, and we will let you know how it goes. So stay tuned.
Crazy person.
All right, folks, we are back after a pretty exciting turn one. The Americans have shown up a lot earlier than expected. They came in, Patrick nominated his entire force to be his first wave, so they have all come in. The Germans have made a little progress moving up. First thing that happened was the Panzer IV moved up to the front of the crossroads and immediately spotted these regulars here and opened up with his coaxial machine gun. Managed to cause a pin, but didn't manage to kill anyone. And they actually managed to go into ambush and shed their pin. So, it kind of no harm, no foul. Meanwhile, we've got grenadiers moving up here behind the Panzer IV to support it. The British forward observer moved over here and had a pretty good view of the field, so that caused these Panzer Grenadiers to decide to reposition themselves so as not to be quite so close to so many of its own units. This Panzer Grenadier squad did move up out of cover to take on this American squad that could be seen behind these sandbags. They did kill, these guys took one casualty, so they now have a pin and a casualty. The Sherman 105 decided to be really cheeky and come around the back of these trees. It fired its machine guns at the officer, killing the officer's second in command, and the Puma used its Recce move to get out of the way because it was being targeted by the main gun on the Sherman. So it decided to move out. Meanwhile, over here with the Brits used this kind of the distraction of the Americans to get into position. One of the veteran squads moved up around this wall. The one with the rifles, the one with the SMGs is waiting in this alley. The machine gun went on ambush. The officer team is just moving up to support. It was able to give this squad a little bit of support so they could lose their pin. Meanwhile, we've got more Panzer Grenadiers moving around. They used the cover of the wood line to slowly creep around onto this flank. And those are veterans, yes, Luther? Or,
yeah.
So these are actually vet Grenadiers. So they have, they have the capabilities to deal with these veteran British Commandos. So meanwhile, we also have a bazooka sneaking down this wood line where he can't be seen currently. To hopefully get a shot onto that Panzer. And there's also a Piat team that has moved up right here that is also pretty close to the Panzer IV. So we're hoping that, that they can at least get a chance to fire their weapons off. So, and then we also had a little bit of a sniper battle. The German sniper here took shots at the American sniper and did cause a pin, did not cause any casualties. This is actually a veteran sniper down here in these ruins. So we're going to go ahead and play turn 2, and we'll let you know what happens. So as always, stay tuned. All right, guys, we are back after turn 2, and the main thing that's happened this turn is that a Piat team, if you recall the one that was standing right here, did move up and take out this Panzer IV by hitting it in the rear armor. However, later in the turn, they were taken out by this Panzergren squad that moved up and completely wiped them out. So they are gone, but they did accomplish their purpose. They took out the Panzer IV. That Panzer IV had moved up to take shots at both this regular squad and this MG squad. Both of them went down. They didn't get any hits, and they didn't take any pins. So it ended up that they didn't really even need to go down. But because they were down, because this squad was down later in the turn, they also were able to withstand fire from the MG-42 that this squad was carrying with them when they advanced out of that bush line over there. So anyway, but we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. Another important thing that happened over here was that the the Sherman 105 came around the trees. It noticed that these Krauts were out in the open, and it managed to put 3 pins on them. And then all of these squads kind of piled on, and they also started putting pins on. Actually, just these 2 squads here started putting pins on them as well. The initial blast from the howitzer killed. Was it 3 members of the squad? Yep. And that caused the Puma to kind of want to retaliate, and it moved up the road. It took a shot, it missed, and Patrick moved his bazooka team up into the woods here to fire at the Puma, and he missed, and he attracted the attention of the sniper over here in the parapet, and that was a dead bazooka. So right now there are 2 Allied dice out of the bag, and there's only 1 German dice out of the bag. But it's a big German dice. It's a lot of points. That PL team definitely paid itself off. Meanwhile, the British did not do just a whole lot. They're just kind of waiting for the Germans. This squad went down. This squad did reposition to kind of get ready to greet this squad that's starting to move out of the tree line and around the side here. So that's going to be an interesting engagement. Officer team just going down. So yeah, just basically just kind of waiting, kind of hoping to use their close-up advantage on the Panzergrens. And the Americans over here are slowly kind of making their way across the way here to sort of close the gap and kind of create a united front against these Germans. They've got to clear up this flank before they're going to be able to really start causing damage. However, this artillery observer did place a marker right here, so we're going to have to carry out an artillery barrage potentially before we play turn 3. So you guys want to go ahead and roll a die to see if the artillery barrage is going to come in.
All right.
So Luther's going to sign his fate here. 4, I believe that means it is coming in. So we're going to go ahead and do the artillery barrage, and then we will let you guys know what the result of that was. So stay tuned. All right, so the artillery barrage has come in, and as you can see, it's caused quite a bit of distress for the Germans. Sniper team taking 3 pins, squad up the mid taking just 1 pin, actually faring better than most. The machine gun squad over here takes 2 pins, and then the squad in the rear taking the hardest of the hits, taking a direct hit by a heavy howitzer, taking 3 pins and losing 3 men, including the NCOs. So they're actually technically pinned 4 times without him. So that's going to give the Brits maybe and the Americans a little bit of time. And in the meantime, we'll go ahead and play turn 3, and we'll let you know how it goes. So stay tuned.
I just have to go run by a friend's house, pick something up for somebody else, and take it to them.
All right, so we are back after the end of turn 3, and after that artillery strike, things just really started kind of going south for the Germans. Most of these squads were unable to activate. The machine gunner was able to activate. He fired at this machine gunner, didn't manage to score any hits. The Vickers unloaded into that MG and managed to kill one of its loaders. This squad tried to. What did they try to do? Did they try to rally, or did they even try to do anything?
I think they went down.
They just ended up having. Oh yeah, they ended up failing their worst test and just going down. This squad right here took casualties when the Brin group decided to advance up out of their cover and fire on them point blank. They also took fire from the Americans, who have started to really link up with the Brits. As you can see, that lone artillery observer is just moving up, trying to plug the gap and get in there. This squad basically this squad combined with the efforts of the M4105 Sherman managed to pretty much wipe out the squad here. The MGs from the Sherman basically took them out, and then the 105 Howitzer scored a really nice hit on the Puma and ended up penetrating and taking that out as well.
And the officer right here.
And yeah, actually, it took out the Puma and the officer that was standing right by it. So really, really bad turn of events for the Germans there. So the Americans have pretty much wrapped up this flank. They're starting to just advance up across this field kind of cautiously and taking out units as they can. Meanwhile, over here, the veteran grenadiers did show themselves. They did they had advanced out of the wood line, and then they decided to run around the corner here, and they were met with bristling fire from this commando squad that advanced into the rubble and took out all but 3, actually all but 4, and then they took another casualty from this squad here that had been waiting in the alley, as you recall. So that's going to pretty much stop any kind of advance over here. These officers did move up. So we've decided we're going to play another turn and see kind of what we get to. It's looking pretty rough for the Germans. They do have some squads. They do have some firepower if they could rally and get back in the game. But their strength has been seriously depleted, and they've lost their armored vehicles that they were using to kind of spearhead the advance, as well as their command, which is going to be really rough. So we're going to go ahead and play a turn 4, or part of a turn 4 at least, and we'll let you know how it goes. So stay tuned. All right, guys, we are back after the end of turn 4, and man, we got this great shot of the heavy machine gunner on the back of the Sherman 105 with the burning Puma in the back. So we're going to go ahead and call this a game. As you can see, the German army has been nearly broken. They're down to 3 units that are all pretty poorly pinned. There isn't really a way that we think they could get to the objective without really just suffering more losses. As you can see, the objective is pretty well held by pretty healthy veteran Brit commando groups. The Americans are already moving across the field to link up with them. This sniper has just taken just round after round from all of these squads, as well as the MGs on the Sherman. Nobody's managed to kill him. They've managed to get some more pins on him. This machine gun, or the German MG42, decided to try and pivot and just open up point blank on this squad, which they managed to do shortly after this squad assaulted and took out the grenadiers in the road here. So this squad right here has been withered they lost 2 men in that attack. They were answered by the Vickers firing on the MG, which wasn't able to really do anything. The command team also tried to fire on the MG42 and didn't really manage to do anything either. Meanwhile, this squad did assault the squad here and managed to kill them. Or I guess that was the last turn. Did we film the last turn?
Nobody fumbled.
Oh, okay. No, I mean, did we film the last turn?
The last turn.
I think we did.
I think you did.
Okay, so we did catch the assault. So this squad did assault them.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. All right, so what this squad did this turn is they moved around the side of the building and they opened fire on this squad that had advanced of the Grenadiers. Didn't manage to kill anybody, did manage to put a pin. The Grenadiers did open fire on the command team and also didn't manage to kill anyone. So it wasn't the most eventful of final turns, but it was a great game. It was really bloody. A lot of burning wreckage on the field. And we had a great time, and that's what it's all about. So we're going to go ahead and call this a game, but as always, please check us out on Facebook, Texas Bolt Action. Thanks to all the new subscribers. I hope that I can get you guys a little bit more continuous stream of content over the coming months. And yeah, thanks for watching. Have a great day.